Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been a little while since I've been on here, but I figured it was time to get back on here. And since my daughter turned 1, actually just less than a week ago, I decided it might actually be a good idea to do a video on how my body has changed since pregnancy and birth. My body went through so many changes between pre-pregnancy to post-pregnancy. And I feel like not a lot of women know, like going into pregnancy, how much your body actually changes, but also how well your body heals. That's one thing that I learned when I was pregnant and post-birth, was how phenomenal the human body is. And when I look back at pictures from when I was pregnant, my body has recovered so well. Yes, there have been a lot of changes, but I'm also really surprised at how normal I feel. So obviously every body reacts to pregnancy and birth and breastfeeding differently, but I just wanted to show my experience with it. Am I bleeding? I definitely picked like skin off my lip before this video, so I just find it really interesting to watch these videos because bodies are so different, just to see how other women have experienced these changes and how it's affected them. So that's kind of why I'm making this video, because I know it can be really interesting to see that kind of thing. So I just want to start by kind of like explaining how my body was before pregnancy. I'm 5'8" and I was like 118 pounds when I got pregnant. So I was pretty slender, pretty tall. I had small boobs. I had a stick figure. I didn't really have any hips. I had a little bit, but I looked pretty straight up and down. And I still looked a little bit, not prepubescent, but not like I hadn't developed my like womanly, more curvy features yet. I think I was a B cup. I had perky little boobs, pretty flat stomach, not really a ton of extra skin on my body. Yeah, I had a high metabolism, very thin and slender. Pregnancy did change that in a way. My body very much was affected by breastfeeding. I breastfed exclusively for 9 months, and then I started supplementing with formula, and I continued to breastfeed until like 11 months, and she's totally weaned now. I've definitely noticed changes in my body since stopping breastfeeding. My boobs have gone through a lot of changes, so I'll definitely be touching on that later in the video. The shape of my body changed, lots. So I'm just going to dive right into it now and go into specifics. Oh, also I forgot to mention that I did get a C-section with my daughter because she was breech. She was breech because I have a rare uterine abnormality called uterus adelphus, which means that I have 2 uteruses. So if you're interested in seeing a video on that, you can click the link. Anyway, I'm first gonna start off with my weight. Like I said, I was 118 pounds when I got pregnant. I currently hover between 122 and 125. Just depends on the day, depends on the water retention. I got down to my pre-pregnancy weight about like 6 to 8 months after I had Maven. I was eating really, really healthy. I started on a mainly plant-based diet, not strict, but mainly plant-based, which I think helped me to kind of lose a lot of the weight. I have not been able to lose the last like 5 to 7 pounds left. I don't know why. I think I'm just kind of stuck here, but to be fair, I haven't been eating that well. My hair, first off, I lost a lot of hair after I had Maven, like a few months after I started losing hair. So I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna try to show. I have bangs now, so it's hard to tell. I have baby hairs from a lot of hair loss. I have more, but I don't want to like ruin my hair. But these are all like baby hairs that I lost. So I was pretty much like bald up here, so I like couldn't wear my hair up without looking like my hairline was receding, which was no fun. On top of that, I've actually, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've found that since being pregnant, my hair has grown super fast. When I gave birth, my hair was like to here, and now it's like all the way down to here. It might be because I'm still taking my prenatals, I'm not sure, but I thought that my hair actually grew really slow during pregnancy, and it's grown super quick in the past year. Also, my body hair, I don't know if this is like scientifically proven or whatever, but I feel like it's also growing faster and thicker. Maybe just because I don't have time to shave anymore, but I've just noticed a lot more like body hair grow thicker and faster. Stretch marks was a big thing. Before I was pregnant, I had no stretch marks. When I got pregnant, I did get stretch marks, and I got stretch marks on my boobs and on my butt. I didn't get any on my stomach, just on my boobs and my butt. But my butt in particular, I got them really badly, really dark, stripy stretch marks. And I was a little disappointed about it when I was pregnant, but they've lightened tremendously since then, and they're pretty much completely gone unless you look closely. Another new thing that I experienced, before I was pregnant, I never had cellulite ever. And then when I got pregnant, I got cellulite really badly, like closer to the end of the second and third trimester. I had a lot of cellulite on my butt mainly. My butt grew a lot when I was pregnant, but I got a lot of cellulite on my butt. And that has not entirely gone away. It is significantly improved, but I still kind of have some cellulite. Nothing super noticeable, but definitely did not have that before I was pregnant. Another thing is my abs obviously were the most affected by pregnancy. I was a pretty like fit girl before I got pregnant, pretty strong. I had relatively good endurance. I wasn't like super fit, but I went to the gym like 3 times a week maybe, and I was pretty strong. However, when I got pregnant, I just really slacked in my workout routine. I like barely worked out at all. I lost a lot of muscle and strength, specifically in my abdomen. Because of pregnancy, my abs actually split. So I had a large gap between my abs for a long time after pregnancy, and I'm still kind of recovering from that. So you're not really supposed to do certain workouts when you have split abs. So I've kind of been trying to let that heal before I really get back into a good workout routine. I just don't have a lot of strength in my abs anymore. I used to be able to do so many sit-ups, no problem, but now it's like, it's really hard. It's really, like, I can do it better than I could freshly postpartum, obviously, but I'm definitely not as strong as I used to be, and I think it's taking my body a little more time to recover and get back to that kind of strength because it's gone through so much trauma. My abdomen in general, when it comes to like flatness and weight loss, it's pretty much back to normal. I've always had a little bit of a pooch. I wouldn't say pooch. I've always been a little bit bloated, so I haven't had a perfectly flat stomach ever, like not even before pregnancy. So this is kind of normal for me, and I'd say I'm pretty much back to normal in that area. Another thing that I have noticed is that I sweat a lot more since pregnancy. A year out, I find that I get a lot of specifically night sweats. That was never an issue for me before pregnancy. It wasn't even an issue for me during pregnancy, I don't think. But I think it must be a postpartum thing because it's something that I deal with on almost a nightly basis. I just get super sweaty. I know it's gross, I'm sorry. But I like sweat through my clothes and always have to just take a shower in the morning because it's so, My hips, so like I mentioned earlier, I had a pretty like stick figure. I didn't have a lot of womanly curves and shapes. I have more now. My hips definitely widened throughout pregnancy, and then with the weight loss, the curve of my hips has become more prominent, if that makes sense. I definitely look like I have more curve and more hip now, which I am totally fine with. I find that I look a lot more womanly than I did. Not that I wasn't womanly before, but I just find that I have a lot more shape, and I do personally really like it. I also still have a bigger butt. I think that might be the reason that I haven't lost those last 5 pounds, because my butt is like permanently bigger. I don't know why. It hasn't gotten back to normal. So I'm not complaining about that, but yeah, definitely a change that I'm not particularly used to. Another big thing is my period. My periods are a little bit different because of my 2 uteruses. They're just different in general from a normal period. But before I was pregnant, I was on birth control. Because of that, I was on like a 28-day cycle, and my periods would be really light on birth control and not very painful. But previously to ever being on birth control, my cycles would be like 34 days and like pretty painful and stuff and really heavy. Would they be 34, 35 days, which was nice. And then after pregnancy, I thought that my cycle would kind of go back to its natural, like long cycle, like 34, 35 days. And it did at first, but every period that I get now, it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So actually, the most recent period I had was a 27-day cycle, which sucks because my periods last like 9 days. So I'm just like freaking always bleeding. It sucks. Really heavy periods. They've become really, really painful again. So not fun. Now I kind of saved this one for last because I don't know. I felt like this was the biggest change that my body went through, and that is my boobs. I nursed for my nursing journey was insane. It was not easy. So unfortunately, it hasn't lasted super long. I nursed exclusively for 9 months, which I'm so proud of. And then I supplemented with formula and completely weaned by 11 months. So I've been off breastfeeding for like a month and a half now. And I feel good. I'm happy that it's done, to be honest. It was a really difficult journey, and I'm really proud of myself for making it to 9 months. But my boobs went through a lot of trauma. I had a really large milk supply, and I think that just really stretched my boobs out. So my boobs are just kind of lower set than they used to be. They just sit lower on my body. I don't want to say saggy, they're not, but they're just not as perky as they used to be, but they are bigger still. I don't know if that will change the longer I'm off breastfeeding, but they are still bigger than they used to be, which I'm happy about. I do have stretch marks on my boobs, which obviously I didn't have before because I had tiny boobs. But yeah, a lot of changes happened there, and it's been weird. It's been an adjustment, I'm not going to lie. There have been a lot of changes to come to terms with being postpartum, but honestly, I've been so grateful that my body has come back relatively close to what it used to be. But I'm happy that I do have these changes that I can be proud of, and that can remind me of the pregnancy that I experienced and the birth of my daughter. And I don't mind having a different body now. I don't mind that things have changed, because that's just the way life goes when it comes to growing and birthing babies. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something from this video, or just found it interesting to see how my body changed after pregnancy and birth. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video for you. If you would like to see more content, please subscribe. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.